I hate to break it to you, but that person you think is your twin flame, they're most likely not. Please don't shoot the messenger and don't tune away. Allow me to expound. Twin flames are a statistical rarity. There are currently only 21 twin flame pairs on Earth out of 8.2 billion people. Saying that we all have a twin flame outside of ourselves is like saying we are all ascended masters. And some people are ascended masters, and many people are working really hard towards ascension, but saying that we are all ascended masters is not true and not fair. I know this may be an unpopular opinion, so I humbly request that you take what resonates with you and leave the rest, and that we can agree to disagree and be respectful of one another. This is my reading, my frame of reference from the Akashic Records, and what I channeled with the assistance of Archangel Metatron. Archangel Metatron wants me to upload this video because the way twin flame is used in pop culture is disproportionately a misnomer. The twin flame literature is romantic and fun, but also a little inaccurate. This video is about looking beyond twin flames and breaking down the difference between soulmates, soul clusters, karmic relationships, so please feel free to check out the timestamps if you want to skip ahead. I'm Liz of Athena's Garden, and if you are new here to my channel, please remember to always have your own experience and know that you are a sovereign being and should always practice discernment. I create videos in hopes of supporting any viewers by creating an online community that is supportive of your individual journeys. If you enjoy these topics, especially about the intersectionality of spirituality, science, and creativity, and how it can be incorporated into our daily lives, I hope you will consider hitting that like and subscribe button and joining our community here, Discord, and Instagram. Also, a shout out to Margaret of Pearl for requesting this video. If there are any topics you are curious about exploring together, please don't hesitate to let me know in the comments or in any of our groups. I just have to take a deep breath in before beginning, but I know this is an important video to make and share. I went into the Akashic Records and confirmed that in 2025. So as of the writing of this script, May 14th, 2025, there are 21 pairs of twin flames that are here on Earth right now. That means only 42 people have their twin flame counterpart on Earth right now. Before you react with, no, I have my twin flame here, please allow me to explain. When talking about twin flames, we have to start with defining what an oversoul or monad is. Different esoteric spiritual traditions have different ways to explain this, but this is the way I understand that makes the most sense to me and my frame of reference. So, on the 12th dimension, we have Source, Christ consciousness, the creator of all there is. Then on the 11th dimension, we have the ocean of light. And then on the 10th dimension is where monads or oversouls or soul clans are created. So first you have oneness, unity consciousness. Then it is divided into a monad or oversoul. And then from there, it can be split into two, or the one can be split into an entire cluster of souls or your soul tribe. So in the instance of the one splitting into two from the oversoul, that is a pair of twin flame souls. Majority of souls are simply not twin flames, and furthermore, these twin flame souls are not always on Earth and may not be on Earth at the same time. So you can be a rare twin flame, but your other part is not even here. They might be on another dimension, a star system, or in a separate timeline altogether, since time is not linear. In other words, a pair of twin flames originate from the same monad. They are two unique soul expressions split as masculine and feminine polarity from the same oversoul. So in 2025, we have approximately 8.2 billion people on Earth, and only 42 people are twin flames who also have their counterpart here on Earth at the same time. But hey, you might be that one pair out of that 21 pairs on Earth right now. These are the stats that I got in the Akashic Records. That's why the whole twin flame dialogue, discourse, healing modality, the cult, and other toxic behaviors, chasing your quote-unquote twin flame doesn't resonate with me personally because of this. However, I can see the appeal. Like many things in our world, it's simply a social construction, the way marriage and romance are also social constructions. This whole, find your ultimate significant other, and the modern and colloquial use, it is very appealing. It's romantic. It sounds beautiful, like twin flames. It has universal appeal, like rom-coms do, or an epic hero's journey. And to emphasize, out of all the Akashic Records reading I've had the privilege to do so far, I didn't encounter twin flame souls even once, as expected, as it's a statistical rarity. But hey, maybe when I do yours, you could be one half of those 21 pairs. It is voiceover time. I wanted to clarify one thing before I wrap up this section, without giving away the client's anonymity or confidentiality and going into the details. But I have encountered one case, just one, only one, where the individual has a twin flame that are currently not on Earth. So it's still a statistical rarity that you are a twin flame soul. So by no means I'm not dismissing that you might have one that's currently not here on Earth incarnated with you, and that there could be the sense of longing and loneliness that you experience, that you feel a little bit incomplete. So I am in no way dismissing that at all. I'm just talking about the situation where the other person isn't actually your twin flame here on Earth. And so just to clarify that it is very possible that you are a twin flame soul and your counterpart is not here on Earth or in another dimension or star system, and that's very possible. And sometimes your incarnation here on Earth has nothing to do with the twin flame. Sometimes it does. Sometimes there's a lesson that you have to learn while apart. And I just went into the records again just to confirm that. And they're like, yes, you absolutely have to add this part back into your video to clarify this, so that the individuals, still a statistical rarity, I might add, who feel this longingness, loneliness that is inexplicable when they're happy in all areas of their life, and they may even have a wonderful partner with them, that there is this aspect that you need to accept instead of reject or feel like, oh, I'll never be happy, or it's just part of you being a unique twin flame soul without your counterpart here on Earth. So I really hope this makes sense, and please feel free to leave the comments if you have any questions about this part of the clarification. All right, let's continue. The reason why twin flame connections are often love connections here on Earth is because of this yin and yang and opposite polarities. The one soul split into divine masculine and divine feminine. So they split into two, and there's only two of them. It's like the strongest supernatural magnet you've ever seen. It's like a force. It's so tight, and it pulls the both parties so tightly and strongly. You cannot pull yourself away from your twin flame. If you are indeed that 21 pairs, lucky or unlucky pairs. And I say unlucky because twin flame soul homework is very difficult. It's an assignment that you have to complete maybe over thousands of lifetimes, hence the romantic appeal, What I hear from my guides is it's hard, gut-wrenching, deep soul work and soul healing that really goes beyond romantic connections. A true twin flame connection, they simply cannot stand to be apart. And that's why I believe the whole literature about chasing, running, or whatever that is, that's just not twin flames. It has nothing to do with the twin flame souls. Before the popular use of twin flame in pop culture, we used to refer to it as unrequited love, misconnection, or in psychology, codependent relationships. There are other names for it, I'm sure, but you get my drift. If you are feeling disappointed hearing that the person you have deep emotional connection with is likely not your twin flame, I want to share the best news ever. For the other 8.2 billion people who don't have a twin flame, it's actually better that you're not a twin flame soul, because it means you know the twin flame is within you. You are already whole and complete as a soul. And ascension is possible all on your own. Like, you can ascend right now. Another way to say this is that means you don't need to search for another half, because you are already complete. You are complete. This should be the best news ever. My informed opinion is guided by Archangel Metatron and what I read in the Akashic Records myself, and that's it. So if you disagree with something, or maybe read something different, in the Akashic Records, that's okay too. So while I was doing this, I also asked the records, how many Ascended Masters are currently here on this earth? Because I wanted to use this analogy, and there are a lot right now. A lot of Ascended Masters, about 10 times more than the Dark Ages in our history. And my Akashic Record Gatekeeper told me that the number is on the higher side of the spectrum because we are preparing for the Golden Age. Whether we get there, we don't know. That's what they said. So that's also very exciting news. Hope that's exciting news for you too. So back to the monad and the soul cluster and soul family. So as mentioned, a monad will most likely split into a cluster of souls. And this is why when you meet some people and feel like a profound spiritual bond, you feel like they might be your soulmate, or maybe a familial romantic friendship, or it could be frenemies or rivals, a student-teacher relationship, like a mentor-mentee, or even like challenging bosses and managers, providing contrast, or soul sisters, soul brothers, like best friends. This is a general number that I got from the Akashic Records myself. A soul cluster comes in 12 to 144. So from the monad, it splits into 12 or 144. So, but the chances of you incarnating on Earth at the same time with your soul cluster is a lot higher, because you want to have the support of your soul family. Of course, nothing is absolute, but generally speaking, most souls don't want to come to Earth and adventure on their own, but they want to come with their core spiritual crew, like in a pod. The cluster may have similar soul missions, and you most likely have reincarnated with them before, whether it's here on Gaia or another star system. This is kind of like you're on a vacation or adventure with your besties. You want to travel together and have fun and support, right? Now let's talk about soulmates. Soulmates really means specific soul relationships. They may or may not come from your soul cluster. Are we confused yet? A soulmate is a deeply connected soul you meet and bond with. It's like a one-to-one connection, and you grow together in a mutually supportive way. You may share personal growth or lessons that you want to work on together, like a group project. Soulmates help you remember who you are and walk alongside you as you evolve. So, if Gaia and Earth was a study abroad program, you may have signed up for the same class together at the same time. Soulmates may show up as a best friend, a romantic partner, sibling, maybe teacher-student. When you meet your soulmate, or soulmates, I guess, they're specific relationships, you most likely feel you encounter them in other lifetimes because the energy is so familiar and you just automatically feel this alignment. It feels safe and nurturing as well. Like you can finish each other's sentences and know what the other person is thinking, or know when they're about to call you, or you're thinking of them and they call you. It also doesn't mean this relationship lasts your entire lifetime or in future or past lifetimes, because you may opt in for different classes and sign up for other classes on your next study abroad adventure, if I continue that analogy. I had a soulmate here, my friend Jonah from college until my late 20s. He's no longer with us here, but he was definitely my soulmate in this framework. We're both Virgos and we just had so much in common. So it was almost a 12-year friendship, and I used to tell people he's almost like the twin brother I never had. We had so much fun creating, acting, dancing, singing, and writing, and these amazing conversations. When I'm yang, he's yin, and when he's yang, I'm yin. It's very strange and to describe, to put to words. So if I'm being too much, he's like, shh, it's okay, shh, Liz, stop it, tone it down. We're at Target right now. So no doubt I'll meet Jonah again. But have you ever met someone and felt that inexplicable, inexplainable deep connection? Drop a line in the comments if you think they're your soulmate or part of your soul family. Finally, let's talk about karmic relationships. Perhaps this is the most common one we will encounter on the list, as you can have karmic relationships with total strangers. And these are relationships born from unresolved energy, often from past lives, but it's not always past lives. I'm sure you've heard of instant karma. You reap what you sow, and it might happen right away. These relationships are mostly here to teach you an important soul lesson, one that you have signed up for. Karmic relationships have many categories: romantic, familial, friendship, rivals, enemies, teacher and student, like workplace, colleagues, trauma bonding, a rescuer and victim dynamic, other past life vows, or unfinished businesses, or even betrayal. What can be confusing is that karmic relationships could also overlap with soul cluster homework and soulmate homework. Karmic relationships also feel so hard because if you didn't learn the lesson and have the resolution or healing, like in other words, you didn't finish your homework, it will keep showing up in repeated patterns, sometimes from a random stranger, sometimes from people you know. Think of it like a boot camp. It can be painful, but also liberating when you overcome the lesson, toxic cycle, or the challenge that you sign up for before incarnating. So like when you turn in your assignment and get an A+. The most important thing to note is that you still have your free will and sovereignty, even if you sign a soul contract. Soul contracts do not override your free will. You can always dissolve the agreement or renegotiate. For example, you can decide that you will complete this assignment the next lifetime. Soul contracts are more like invitations, not prisons. So now I'm going to use a personal example to hopefully help explain these categories. My husband and I have a karmic relationship. As mentioned in my Atlantis series part 1, we drowned in the big kaboom in Atlantis. We are not from the same soul cluster, but we do have a kind of soulmate relationship because it's a one-on-one specific relationship. I shared this in my wedding vows, so to my family and friends who attended our wedding back then may recall that when I locked eyes with my husband in person, I heard a voice in my head, which of course freaked me out back in 2007 because I'm not particularly clairaudient. The voice said, "He's your husband. You don't have to keep looking." And honestly, I was like, WTF, what is this? Since I'm not clairaudient, I'm like, who is this voice? Like, that's creepy, right? But anyways, it ended up being true. Our connection was very strong upon first eye contact, And he proposed to me exactly a year later, and we did our civil ceremony immediately and did our wedding in front of family and friends about 8 months later. So September 2025, we are going on 18 years. I found this when I read my husband's Akashic Records, that before we came to Gaia together, he had requested us to be married again to resolve our karma in our Atlantis lifetime. I didn't consent to his request for a long time because while he is not the only one to blame for what happened during Atlantis, my gripe was that he didn't listen to me. And as usual, I ended up being right. So before consenting, I actually laid out prerequisites and conditions about this incarnation. Like the one thing I said, I'm the alpha. I'm the leader of this relationship. We can discuss, but I decide. And he has his own karmic homework regarding following orders, which I won't go into depth here. That's his homework. This is one reason why our relationship has a lot of up and downs. If I see us going down a detour even slightly, I firmly shift gear, bring us back on course like a commanding officer and a boss that I am. As mentioned, he has his own soul homework or karmic homework that's separated from our homework together, which is separated from my homework as my soul homework and what I signed up to do. And so, there's this Vesica Pisces that intersect, right? And that's why it's really hard. And I'm the one always crying to Archangel Michael, like, look at him, look at what he's doing. And he'd be like, patience. And I'm like, no, I'm 1 foot out the door now. And I'm still here. So jokes aside, at any time, even though we signed a soul contract before incarnating and having this legal marriage license here on Earth, we can still leave any time. The thing is, we're just a little stubborn, so we're still married and, continuing our soul contract and our wedding vows. But I was also oddly specific when I wrote my wedding vows about committing only this lifetime. I don't know about your wedding vows if you are married, but I personally will not commit more than one lifetime because it's like, let's complete this one contract here and see how we do before we decide to renew the contract, right? But maybe you and your partner want to keep the romantic and love partnership for your next incarnation too. Let me know what you think. In my last incarnation on Gaia, I shared this in my starseed video before, I was a Spanish man during the Inquisition, and I chose not to have a consistent partner for reasons I'll explain in a bit. But I came with my soul cluster, who was my older brother in that lifetime. He was my best friend, my confidant, and frankly, my protector and patron, as he supported me financially as the heir. And I was a second son in the family. I didn't have nearly as many responsibilities, and I was clearly what that period of history would consider a heretic. In fact, I have that in my human design in this lifetime. I'm a 5/1 heretic investigator. I mean, look at me right now in this video, myth busting the twin flames and being a heretic, fearing the backlash, right? Like, oh, don't come at me. Back then, in my previous lifetime, I wrote and published in 5 different pseudonyms, and I actually remember myself practicing writing different scripts by hand so that they won't be able to trace me to my publications with my real handwriting. As you can imagine, I couldn't trust a lot of people, including other friends and family, except for my brother from my soul cluster. I was always fearful of being found, and I even went all the way from Spain to Argentina when things got a little sus. So in this lifetime, I actually did go to Spain and Argentina to energetically retrieve things so I can continue my work. And that's part of my karmic work I have to go through, working through this paralyzing fear of being found and burned at the stake. And so that's why it was difficult for me to gather enough courage to share things in a public manner. But here I am now talking to you. So enough about me. If you're still here, still watching, I hope it was helpful to hear my examples. It's easier to use personal examples instead of anonymizing my client's records since I have to obtain permission. FYI, I did obtain my husband's permission and consent to share this here today, so I'll give him a shout out. I hope this video helped illustrate the difference between twin flames, soulmates, soul clusters, and karmic relationships. This was a lot, I know, and I knew I was being ambitious to cover it all in one video, but if you're still wondering about your relationship with another person at the soul level, I am an Akashic Records reader, and my guides and I designed the duo Akashic Records reading when I first launched Athena's Garden to help you navigate your soul journey with another person, whether that person is your romantic partner, your business partner, your child or family member, your coworker, etc. This reading will really help you gain clarity about your relationship. If your guides feel it's helpful, they will provide insights into how you and the other person's past, present, and future dynamics may play out on your destiny timeline. So when I designed this reading, I honestly only heard about twin flames in one video 5 years ago that I will link below. I am sorry, it is in Mandarin. I hope they have the subtitles up they have for some of their videos. I resonate the most with them, and then I also channeled my own. So yes, I'm Liz of Athena's Garden, where I try to water the seeds of wisdom one topic at a time. Thank you so much for watching. What soul connections have you experienced that transformed your life? Please let me know in the comments below or in our Discord community. If you've learned something new here, consider hitting that like or subscribe button or sharing it with a friend who was currently navigating soul connections on their own. And remember, your greatest love story is probably within your soul. Peace.